Hi, I'm Pastor Jan with All People, All Truths House of Enlightenment. I hope you're all doing well today, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit more about staying in your good space. I mentioned in my last video about your 100% space or your good space, about staying on that 12 by 12 imaginary tile that I like to call my good space or my 100% space. And I talked about how it's a balancing act to stay and be the best version of yourself all the time without letting everything that happens in life drag you off into never never land where we don't want to be. I mentioned that step one was to focus on your breath. Breathe in, breathe out, focus on, pay close attention to that middle space between your in breath and your out breath, where all the answers to everything you seek in life you shall find. That's where the divine lives. That's where your answers lie. Everything you need to know lies within. And if you pay attention to that quiet space between your breaths, that's where you'll find your answers. So, step two in staying in your good space and being able to follow your Dharma, live in that good space, and fulfill your earthly purpose. Step two is about transparency. So, transparency to me is being who you are, no matter where you are, no matter when you're there. So, if you're the person that, for example, you come home from work, the neighbor's dog is in your yard, um, and pooping in the middle of your yard, and this happens routinely. And so, what do you do to get the dog out of there? Maybe you're that guy that kicks the dog. Um, Hopefully, you're not. But if you are, you should be the guy that kicks the dog no matter where you are. I know this is a poor example, but I want to make a point. So, if you're in the middle of church, please tell everybody how you kicked that neighbor's dog on Tuesday when you got home from work. Make sure when you go to work and you're sharing stories at the water cooler about what happened last night, you tell everybody who you are. Be proud of it. Own it. Be transparent. Be who you are no matter where you are. That's transparency. That is living a life of truth, my friend. And anything short of that is the exact opposite of transparency. So let me try to connect these dots for you. When we are transparent, we are being who we are always, our authentic self. We're not putting on airs for other people. We're not trying to show put ourselves in our best light, to put our best foot forward so that our audience, whoever it is, our friends, our family, our co-workers, the people at the grocery store, we're not trying to pretend we're better than what we are. When we're transparent, we're just being who we are authentically, and we're owning it. We're owning it. I'm a cisgendered lesbian woman, and quite honestly, I'm proud of it. Everywhere I go, I'm a cisgendered lesbian woman. Nobody can make me hide it. Nobody can make me ashamed of it or feel guilty about it or make me want to shrink down and try to be somebody else. Now, I know that's not possible for everybody in our community. We grow into it, and you see all my white hair at this point, so you probably can guess how old I am. So it took me years to learn how to be transparent 100% of the time, but that's who I am. Yep, I'm fat. And no matter where I go, I'm still going to be fat. So I don't try to pretend that I'm skinny. Yep, I'm fat. I might even call myself fat. I know I'm fat. I know I need to lose weight. And that's a project I work on every day. It's one of the hard things in my life, but I'm making progress. 23 pounds so far this year. Bam, gone. So, yay me. Um, but I'm transparent about it. Whatever it is that I am, who I am, what I do, what my behaviors are, I'm going to be transparent about it. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to be ashamed of it. I'm not going to pretend to be somebody better than what I am. I'm going to try to always be the best version of myself and be transparent about it. If I'm not the best version of myself, I'm going to be transparent about that too. Because the difference is this: transparency allows us to always be in the light. The lack of transparency, which is deceit and dishonest and the furthest thing from the truth, always allows us to live in the dark. So, if you want to live in the dark, don't be transparent. If you want to live in the light, the only thing you have to do is be transparent about it. Be transparent about who you are. Don't hide it. Just be in the light all the time by being transparent, no matter who you are. If you're a murderer and you're honest and transparent about it, you're still in the light. I'm not saying your deeds are in the light, but I'm saying you're transparent. You are doing what you're supposed to be doing. You are living your truth, your authentic self. You're putting that always out there to the world, and you're being a transparent human. Anything short of that, we find ourselves hiding and ashamed and feeling guilty and trying to be somebody, make this magical person that we're not, and we put that out there, and it's all lies. We can't be in the light when we're being deceitful. So you don't have to improve yourself or be a better person or do any of those things to live in the light. You simply have to be transparent about whoever you are. So if you're living in goodness half the time and ugliness the other half of the time, you can still live in the light by being transparent about who you are. And that's the trick. The trick about goodness is, in order to live in the light, you're transparent about who you are, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter when it is. And if you're not doing that, you're in the dark. It's that simple. So deceit and dishonesty and all that negative stuff, yeah, in order not to live there, you're simply being honest about who you are, your authentic self, 100% of the time. And then you're in the light. So, knowing this, what you don't want to ever do, none of us, we don't want to go to work and tell everybody at the water cooler that we kick the neighbor's dog every Tuesday because it poops in our yard. We would, if we were a dog kicker, why on earth would we want anyone to know that? That would be something that we'd be ashamed of, regretful for. So we'd want to make our amends for that. We wouldn't want to tell people about our ugly behavior, because why would we want other humans to know that we even have ugly behavior? So here's the thing. Here's the trick in a nutshell. If you want to live a life of goodness, being the best version of yourself that you can possibly be, the number one ingredient is your own transparency. So whoever it is you are, be honest about it, be transparent about it, own it. If it's important enough for you to do and be, then it's important enough to be honest about and let everyone know who you are. And that trick I was talking about in there is just a little tiny trick. But if you want to live in the light and you're going to be transparent, guess what that's going to do? That's going to automatically change your behavior. Because instead of just hiding and lying about who you are, now you have to be transparent and tell everyone. You have to expose yourself. You have to kick the dog no matter who's standing there watching you. It's kind of the cop at the elbow test. You know, they used to say that if you do the same behavior with a cop at your elbow, then you're technically insane. If you commit a crime and the cop would be standing there, then you'd be criminally insane. And it was called the policeman at the elbow test. And it's the same thing. If you have a human at your elbow watching what you're doing and you would still do it anyway, it doesn't mean you're insane, but it means you're transparent, that you'll do it no matter who's looking. So think about that, and always, always, always live your life in transparency. Don't be ashamed of what you're doing. If there are things in your life that you're not proud of and that you know you shouldn't be doing, you can stop doing them. Once you commit to being transparent, all those things will automatically fall off of your schedule every day, because why would you want to keep doing them when you know the world's going to see it? You will be exposed. So, the number one ingredient and the number two thing that you have to think about after you become um, aware of your own breath is own your behavior. Be transparent, be honest, be truthful and authentic about who you are, no matter who's looking. That's a good test, and it will keep you in line in the space that you want to be, so you can continue to live on that 12-inch square and get your balancing act to the point of perfection, as we all have to do. I'm Pastor Jan. Thank you for joining me today. Step 3 coming up.